offenses and humble obeisances in the lotus feet of my spiritual Guru, Nitya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupa, Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Jiva Gosvami. And swam into the lotus feet of my Shiksha Guru, Nitya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupa, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj. Today is very auspicious day, the birthday of disciple of Jiva Gosvami. We don't observe Krishna and his incarnate disappearance day. Perhaps you all know. Not of Krishna, not of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not of Lord Ram. But we observe mostly the disappearance day of his associates. Why? Because it brings so many things about his worshipable Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu. How they have practiced Bhakti Yoga and then they have received the service of Krishna as Mahaprabhu. How from beginning of Bhakti they accepted Bhakti Yoga and how gradually Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti and Parvati came. This is more important for us. You know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Krishna, taking the beauty and intrinsic mood of Radhika, he came. But Srila Rupa Goswami established his Swabhist means innermost heart feeling. He established. If Rupa Goswami was not there, perhaps we could not have known who was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But you know also that Jiva Goswami has searched Srila Rupa Goswami. All the collections of the books, publications, which we are now see, it is due to Srila Jiva Goswami. He collected all his literature. So, and he has established the Manobhilasa, inner desire of Srila Rupa Goswami. How? Publishing his books. How publishing? At that time, it was very hard, by writing. And he wrote all these things, his all books, with his pen. And also, he preached especially to Shyamanand, Narottam and Srinivasacharya. He was the almost very rising learned person at that time who established Rupa Goswami. Wrote so many commentaries because he always with Rupa Goswami. So he did. He proved no Jiva Goswami, then I think that all his books were ruined and were lost. So, Madhav Maharaj may speak in brief his life. Not so much, because time is so. You should carefully hear and try to keep all in your heart and practice like Jiva Goswami.
निद्राहार विहारकारी विदितौ तत्संदविनौ तजौ राधा कृष्ण गुणस्मृते मधुरिवानन्दे सम्मोहितौ वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुजीवौ श्रीगोपालकौ हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So today disappearance day of Srila Jiva Gosvami Pad. The Guru has ordered me to discuss about his life history. Srila Jiva Gosvami Pad, he was disciple of Srila Gosvami Pad. Srila Gosvami Pad, he has heard from Gurudev, which he has written in his literature. Jiva Gosvami published it by his own handwriting. There is no tape recorder, no machine, no dictaphone, nothing. Everything has to by handwriting. So once, when Jiva Goswami was young, and
he was also nephew of,
not only disciple, nephew of Srila
blood related,
and Sanatana Goswami.
Also blood related. This world and that transcendental world.
So, when he was here, it is her Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami has ordered him to correct his literature. So now it can come in our mind, so Rupa Goswami Pad in one hand, eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Mahaprabhu's Rupa, and other hand, eternal associates of divine government as Rupa Manjari. Is there any fault in the literature? How is it possible? And why Rupa Goswami Pad ordered him to correct his literature? How we can reconcile this? So Rupa Goswami, when he is to write, he has got in his mood. Then he forgets that his grammatical is correct or not. So, Jiva Goswami will correct that grammatical things, not his mood. So when you are
writing, tell about Guru Bhakti, Guru Nishtha in him, Jiva Goswami.
So
first is Guru Nishtha.
So Guru Nishtha is the backbone of bhajan. So Jiva Goswami taught us in his life history. So once Rupa Goswami was writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the meantime, one very learned scholar of India, named Ballavacharya, came to Rupa Goswami, and he was older than Rupa Goswami because he
was older also than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, he is older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his birthplace near Prayag, Alaigram, and Rupa Goswami also there with Mahaprabhu at that time. So when he came to Vrindavan, and during darshan, he met his Rupa Goswami and told Rupa, what are you writing now at present time? I want to correct your literature. Rupa Goswami, the embodiment of humility, over here is my good fortune. So after that, he went to Jamuna for taking bath. Jiva Goswami, he was so much missed of his Gurudev. He could not tolerate this thing. What? He wants to correct my Gurudev's literature? What kind of human being is this? He could tolerate this. So he make a trade. Oh, there is no water, I have to go to bring water from Jamuna. In this pretend, he took a water pitcher and went to Jamuna. And he paid him and asked, oh, you want to correct my Gurudev's literature?
Oh Prabhu.
Oh Prabhu, you told that you want to correct Srila Jiva Gosvami's literature. What point you have seen there? Then you want to correct that thing? Then Bhagavata told, yes, I am seeing in literature, Bhukti, Mukti, Sriha Java, Pisati Iti Vartate, Tavat Bhakti Sukha Sapta Kasamat Bhudayo Bhave. Meaning of this sloka, the desire of Bhukti and desire of Mukti means, Bhukti means to enjoy and move in liberation. When these two desires will be heart of a sadhaka, then Bhakti Devi never manifests in sadhaka's heart. So Bhagavad told he compared Bhakti and Mukti like a wheat. How is it possible? Jiva Gosvami humbly replied, no. He is not compared Bhakti and Mukti with a wheat. The desire of Bhakti and desire of Mukti is like a wheat. If the desire of Bhakti and Mukti means liberation and to enjoy this desire within our heart, then Bhakti Devi will be far away from our heart. So the desire of Bhakti and Mukti like a wheat. They can follow us completely.
Why not Bhakti?
Why not Bhakti and Mukti? Why do Bhakti not compare Bhakti and Mukti like a wheat? Because Bhakti and Mukti, they are not wheat. Why not?
Because in Srimad Bhagavatam so many times.
So, if someone receives Bhakti, Bhakti manifests somebody's heart, being complete merciful, then Bhakti stay Shiratara Bhagavad Jagisa, Doirena Phalabidi Pakisara Murti, Mukti Saram Mukulitanjali Savati Atman, Dharmartha Kama Gatayo Samaya Pratiksha. If Bhakti Devi manifests in somebody's heart, then Mukti Saram Mukulitanjali, Mukti Devi, she'll fold his hands and always be ready to get any permission from the devotee. Please engage me in service of your Prabhu. I am ready to serve. So Mukti wants to serve Bhagavan and want to help the devotee. And we have heard about the dialogue between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Thakur Bhattacharya. They are also Mukti Padesha Dayabha. He will be inheritant of Mukti. Thakur Bhattacharya could not tolerate this. Then he changed the verse and told Bhakti Padesha Dayabha. No. It was correct in Bhagavad. Bhagavad is beyond any error. No error is needed there. In so many places, Mukti is glorifying by in so many Acharyas and Srimad Bhagavatam. So Mukti Devi is not a wheat. So Jiva Gosvami gave so many examples and Bhagavata became speechless. When he came back, and Jiva Goswami came back.
Again he came back.
Again he came back to Jiva Goswami and told you, who is this boy who was telling you? Then Jiva Goswami understood that Jiva Goswami made some notorious thing with him. Must be any delay according to Shastra. Jiva Goswami humbly replied, my nephew and disciple. After some time, that old enlightened person went away from there. Then Jiva Goswami called, Jiva, you could not tolerate this old Brahman, could not give him proper respect. Jiva Goswami not asked anything to him. Jiva Goswami understood and told, you go to his side, go in his direction. This true meaning of his direction. His direction means go to your previous village. This is like Purvasam, and Jiva Goswami took this, it means its direction of growth. Say to Nandaghat Bhairav, and he lives in the hole of crocodile. Always weeping, Haru, Sanatan, please be merciful on me, and stop eating, drinking everything. Day by day, he gets skinny, and so many itches come over her body. And Sanatan Goswami always move here and there in Braj, and he well known in whole Braj, Bora Baba. And all over Braj, they respect Sanatan Goswami so much. When Sanatan Goswami during his journey arrived at the village, they told, "Oh Bora Baba, we have a Bora Baba here in our village. It's how renowned. We never seen our whole life. Even he denounced the new also. Always on weeping, Haru, Sanatan, please be merciful on me. Sometimes taking the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes taking the name of Divine Prabhu, weeping and weeping only." Then Sanatana Goswami understood, this is not other than deed. Then Sanatana asked, "Can you show me?" Then they took Sanatana Goswami to Jiva Goswami. Sanatana Goswami brought him with him, and one day discussion was going on, Rupa Goswami was giving discussion. Then Sanatana Goswami asked, "What is the duty of a Vaishnava towards living entity means Jiva?" Then Rupa Goswami told, "Be mercy towards living entity means Jiva." Here Jiva means two meanings. Sanatana Goswami wants to say, what is the duty of Vaishnava to this boy Jiva? And Rupa Goswami is telling for all Jiva. Then Sanatana Goswami told, Sanatana Goswami was elder brother and guru of the Rupa Goswami. Then Sanatana Goswami told, if the duty of a Vaishnava, be merciful towards Jiva, why you not be merciful this Jiva? Then Sanatana Goswami brought Jiva and put him in the lap of Rupa Goswami. And both Guru and Krishna began to weep bitterly. Rupa Goswami also was weeping, and Jiva Goswami also was weeping. So here Jiva Goswami told us that how Guru Nishtha was so strong in his heart, even he could not tolerate any kind of teaching of his Gurudev. So we have to be strong enough as to take instruction from Jiva Goswami, how to respect Gurudev, how to serve Gurudev. If anyone will behave our Gurudev, we shall cut their all arguments by our Shastra Praman. If could not do so, as to keep our foot, ear plug and take bath in Ganga, Jamuna ocean in full cloth. And if you are so powerful, then like Hanuman, he who won the whole Lanka. For this reason, Srila Vrindavan Thakur told, এত পরিহারে যদি পাপে নিন্দা করে তবে রাখি মারতা শিরের উপরে. Hearing the glory of Nityananda Prabhu, he is a sinner. He is criticized Nityananda Prabhu. I shall speak on his head. So we have to be so bold like Hanuman or Vrindavan Thakur, who have criticized our Gurudev. We shall cut their whole argument. But
Gurudev should be very
contented. Very bona fide, not so-called Gurudev. So now one intelligent in our mind, if Rupa Goswami is bona fide Gurudev, is second body of Mahaprabhu, and Jiva Goswami is also eternal associate of Mahaprabhu and divine couple. There is no fault among between them. So if Jiva Goswami is correct, then other than Rupa Goswami must be wrong. If Rupa Goswami is correct, then Jiva Goswami must be wrong. But wrong word is not in their dictionary, in their character. So how we can reconcile this? Srila Jiva Goswami, he acts like a disciple, and Rupa Goswami also acts like a Gurudev. What Rupa Goswami acts, he has acted. He acted like a bona fide Gurudev. He was embodiment of humility, and Jiva Goswami was also very mature disciple, so much nishtha towards Gurudev, which is also correct. So by this you will reconcile. Another thing we can listen from Gurudev
after that, something Shamran. other important things of his life.
First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my Paramaraj Shima Guru Pada Padma. Nityalila Pravista Om Vishnu Pada Stokadisita Sri Shima Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my Paramaraj Shima Guru Pada Padma. Om Vishnu Pada Stokadisita Sri Shima Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. To all of our Guru Varga and all the assembled devotees. Srila Jiva Gosvami was described very poetically and beautifully by Srila Gurudev in a Mathura lecture in 1992 on the same disappearance day anniversary. He said that Jiva Goswami established the integrity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, which he gave to all fortunate jivas of Parikya Bhav of the gopis, which was later on taught by Sri Rupa Goswami, by taking the river, the ever-flowing river of Rasa, of Radha and Krishna's pastimes, and blocking all sides, both sides of the river, with the very strong and powerful rocks of strong philosophical conclusions. In this way, he protected that river from the contamination of the water of misconception. Very beautifully put by our Srila Gurudev.
You understand this thing? What he told? You?
Not everything.
You could not heard?
I didn't listen to God in here.
You realized what he told? To go on. Many of them, they could not understand.
So, Sri Radha Krishna's pastimes are the highest conclusive truth and the ultimate goal of all jivas, all fortunate jivas. These pastimes of the Lord are misunderstood by our mundane vision, and especially unscrupulous personalities take advantage of our shortcomings and teach the misconceptions far and wide. Jiva Goswami established the purity of Radha Krishna's pastimes by strong philosophy, establishing how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how Radharani and the gopis are his own internal powers and potencies, shaktis. They are owned by him, so although it appeared that he was dancing with other persons' wives, actually all other persons' wives belong to Krishna, not the opposite. In order to help less intelligent people to come into Vaishnavism, who would otherwise misunderstand the paramour pastimes of Radha and Krishna and the gopis, Sri Jiva Goswami appears to have established Swati Bhav, or Radha and Krishna as a married couple. Because if they would try to understand their paramour relationship, then they would do then, 500 years ago, what they're doing now. They would say that this is mundane, and they would also imitate them, where you find men dressed as women and having illicit relationships in the name of Parakya Bhav Sadhana, thinking that they'll get perfection, but actually they go to hell by lusty activities. Srila Gurudev explained in his Gurudev's biography that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was externally in a male form, but internally he was in the mood of a gopi. Whereas these personalities, they're externally dressed as a woman, as a gopi, but internally they have the male bhav, purusha bhav, of lusty feelings towards women, so by their activities they go to hell. Some people criticize Jiva Gosvami and said that he was not following the principles of Sri Rupa Goswami, which is Bharatiya Bhav, which is established by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Srila Jiva Gosvami, who is accepted by acharyas as the incarnation of Rupa Goswami, came and protected the integrity and established the integrity of Sri Jiva Goswami's teaching. As Sri Padma Maharaj mentioned, it's the duty of the disciple to defend the bona fide spiritual master against all offenses and all attacks of misconceptions. Gurudev said, if somebody says, because one disciple or several disciples were thinking that if we say something or write something to defend Gurudev against other people who are blaspheming him, misunderstanding him, saying bad things about him, that he's not actually in Guru Parampara, actually we should love all Vaishnavas no matter what they say about our Guru. We should all chant Hare Krishna and love each other and be humble more than a blade of grass. But Gurudev said anyone who thinks like that, he said if somebody says your Guru is engaged in sense gratification, what will you do? Smile and show your teeth? If you yourself cannot defend your Guru, then if you don't support someone who's defending your Guru, then you're not my disciple. Rather, he said anyone who doesn't fulfill the manobhishya of his spiritual master and doesn't defend his Gurudev and proper Siddhanta, he's actually not a disciple, but he's a eunuch. Gurudev said that when someone said that the Ratha Yatra established by his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pradhan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, was not authorized to be done in Navadvip, Gurudev began writing a very strong article against that offense to his Guru Maharaj. And then it created a great agitation on the other side, and they began writing articles. And these articles went on back and forth for a whole year, creating tremendous agitation. And Gurudev again did that against the Sahajiyas who were misunderstanding the Lord's mood, that is Krishna's mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, and the mood of his associates, because Gurudev wrote the book 5 essential essays and distributed them freely. And Gurudev said again, that created a great tumultuous agitation. So this is the duty of the disciple to protect the integrity of the Guru Parampara. So Jiva Goswami, in order to bring in those who would misunderstand the Lord's pastimes, and only he could have brilliantly done that, established Swati Abhav in Radha Krishna mood, which is that they are a married couple, so that people could gradually have faith that yes, they're bona fide, and gradually come into Vaishnavism. But Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur explains that actually Jiva Goswami is a perfect follower of Srila Rupa Goswami because he's not really saying Swati Abhav. What does Swa mean? Swa means own. It means married, but it also means own, of his own. Radha and the gopis are Krishna's own internal potency. They're non-different from him. And Parakya, Para, they are Parashakti. Srimati Radhika is the embodiment of Parashakti, Krishna's supreme transcendental power, which, as Sri Jiva Goswami himself explains in Tattva Sandarbha, that by his own desire, Krishna's Parashakti, his supreme transcendental energy, manifests the absolute truth, that supreme Sri Krishna, in 4 features. She manifests his own Swarup, Swayam Bhagavan, his own original form is Krishna, his touch by Bhavarup, That is, all of his expansions beginning from Sri Baladevji, all of his abodes, all of his associates, his Jivananta potency, us, the living entity, and also Pradhan, his material energy. So Srimati Radhika is Krishna's Parashakti, and so she is, her relationship is in Parasya. She is not any other. Para also means others, but she's not any other. She's Krishna's supreme potency, Krishna's own potency. And therefore, Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur explains that really Srila Jiva Goswami is saying that Swati above and Parati above both exist harmoniously and beautifully in the Supreme Lord of Gokula in Goloka Vrindavan. There are many accusations of Sri Jiva Goswami against him, and our Srila Prabhupada, who is also his defender, explains some of these in his Chaitanya Charitamrita purport. That is another incident where Jiva Goswami defended Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami was when some wandering Digvijay went to Rupa and Sanatana and said, I'm challenging you to a debate in philosophy, and if you're defeated by me, then you should sign a statement that I'll be able to show to everyone that I've defeated you. So rather than waste their time, because no one wants to waste their time in arguing with someone who won't accept good arguments and agree to be defeated if his opponent has better arguments. So rather than waste their time, they immediately signed the paper. Yes, we are defeated by you. When Srila Jiva Goswami found out about this, he told that person, first you defeat the disciple, and then we'll see if you've actually defeated the master. So, Jiva Goswami is accused of not being humble. But as Srila Gurudev just explained, it's the duty of the Guru to be very humble, but it's the duty of the disciple to not tolerate any offense to his bona fide Gurudev. So actually, Jiva Goswami was being the perfect disciple by defending his Gurudev. And he wrote, he's known as the greatest scholar of his time, as Gurudev just mentioned. Despite, it's normal for bona fide acharyas to be accused of so many things. Like Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, there was an attempted murder against him, murder of him, because when they threatened, when the, what do you call those, Brahmins? Martyr Brahmins challenged him that if you don't stop preaching Radhanuga Bhakti, then we're going to have to do something. So he didn't stop, and so they tried to murder him. They found him, they looked for him and searched everywhere where he was doing his bhajan in Vrindavan very early in the Brahma Muhurta time of the morning. And they thought that they saw him entering into some kund. So they went in there and they didn't see him anymore, but they saw a very young, beautiful Kishori girl, teenager, 12 and a half years old. And they asked, she was just picking flowers, and they asked, have you seen a sadhu around? And she said, yes, I saw him for some time, but then I think he went in that direction. So they went in that direction, but then they looked back towards the beautiful Kishori, and they saw that she was actually Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur. So they immediately surrendered to him and became his disciples and preached on his behalf. So the next acharyas are always defending the previous acharyas. So Srila Jiva Goswami also was accused, and he was accused that Sri Krishna Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, showed his unpublished manuscript to Jiva Gosvami, and Jiva Goswami became very furious that, oh, now he will be known as the greatest scholar than myself. So he took his Chaitanya Charitamrita manuscript and threw it in a well. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami became so shocked that he immediately died, but some man named Mukunda had an extra copy, and that's how it got published. So it's normal that the acharyas, the great acharyas, will be accused of so many things. Why? Because bhakti is not easy. It's very, very difficult and rare to come to bhakti. So the pure devotees, the acharyas, are...
I don't know about
what he was telling. This is false allegation.
Yes, our Prabhupada is saying this is a false allegation.
We have to clear this point. So no need of telling.
So my only point was that our Srila Prabhupada was saying how this is a false allegation.
Very short, very
okay.
essence.
Okay.
Can you tell anything? Jiva Goswami, we are very hankering of making so many disciples. Oh, disciples. Even by spending so much money, making so many dalal, agents, that if you bring 5 disciples, I will pay so much. Nowadays going on. But Jiva Goswami or any of the Goswami, 6th Goswami, Krishnadas Goswami, how many disciples? Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Rup Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta. Similarly, Jiva Goswami has no disciple at all, but whole world is his disciple. Shamananda Prabhu came, but he was initiated by any guru. But Narottam Thakur and Srinivas were not initiated by anyone. They came in the shelter of Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami, he taught them all the Shastra, Ved, Upanishad, Shastra, everything, all the Tattva. They wanted to be initiated by Jiva Goswami, but Jiva Goswami refused and told that, oh, there are so many elevated Vaishnava more than me. Oh, please, you should go to Lokdas, and you should go to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. They were not intended to go to them. They wanted that you are my Guru, and they had accepted him like this. But yet, they followed the instructions of Jiva Goswami. Then Narottam Thakur went to Loknath Prabhu, and Srinivas Acharya Prabhu went to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. You see that, Loknath Goswami, he refused to give initiation. But for so many years perhaps, he waited, and he even cleared the stool of Loknath Goswami in night. Then Loknath Goswami was bound to give him initiation. Similarly, Gopal Bhatta never made any disciple, but by the request of Srila Jiva Goswami, he accepted only one disciple, like and they 2 and 3, so they went to Bengal and collected thousands and thousands of followers. Why? In the same way, like Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami and his Gurudev. His Gurudev was Srila Goswami. He never accepted any disciple. Only by the special request of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he saw his also hot that if I am not initiating, he will die. So he was bound to give initiation. Bound. Guru was bound. And he gave initiation. But accept him, no initiation to anyone. And he is that disciple, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, what he did? Miracle. Whole Bengal, whole India, and after that, whole world he made disciples. But who is more merciful, Guru or disciple? We cannot. We cannot.
Both of them are not.
But we see that disciples are more merciful than Guru. Why? We see, for us I am telling, not for others. You know that Srila Jiva Gosvami told to
Narottam Thakur,
you are not qualified, you should go at once to your village. I don't like. A disciple like you have no faith in Krishna name. Krishna name is himself.
Krishna.
He has manifested his all power, all beauty, all appearances in his name. Name is more powerful than Krishna himself. So you have not faith in this. If you are doing bhajan, and if a person is coming thirsty and he wants water, he wanted water from Guru Loknath, and he was chanting. He was observed. But when he went to Narottam Thakur, very sadhu, he took some water and gave. And then Loknath was, you should return back to your home
And make drink to us.
Always doing these things. Then he was so a strong personality that he went, but he followed his Guru's instruction. And he did thousands and thousands of disciples. So who is merciful? In our I think that Narottam Thakur is more merciful. Though Loknath Goswami is also Manjari, Narottam Thakur is also Manjari, but it's him. He is more merciful. That he has mercy for all. But in some way we can see that Loknath Goswami is very merciful. So there are so many things. If Jiva Goswami had not made six sandarbhas, if he had not written Gopal Cham, if he had not explained commentaries of Ujjwal Bhakti Goswami Sindhu and so many books, we could not have known Rupa Goswami's mercy. So today we are offering our obeisances in the lotus of Jiva Goswami, that we should serve our Gurudev like him. He served the Rupa Goswami, and he manifested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna, both, but very rare to be like him. But he should sprinkle his mercy, that we can glorify the Srila Jiva Goswami. I wanted to discuss something about bhajan, rahasyam, written by Srila Bhaktivinoda. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is called what Manjari? Kamala Manjari. Kamala Manjari. How he used to do bhajan? At the time he was magistrate officer. In that time in court. After court he has to write his judgment. So many books he wrote in night, taking something very light and sleeping at about 9 and 10. Wake up in the early or at 12 or 1 and doing so many things. Bhajan as a gopi, Arkiya gopi, always remembering Ashtakaliya Leela, totally obsessed in that. And in the morning again, writing judgments and at that time he has written so many, more than 100 books, in so many languages, even in English. He has written. So, Jiva Dharma Grantha is highest in the Tattva.